Warning, the following is a long list of warnings. If warnings offend you, do not watch this show. Warning, this show contains adult themes. If you are not an adult, do not watch this show. Warning, this show contains a lot of offensive language and may contain graphic content. If you're a Karen, do not watch this show. Warning, this show may contain shabby impersonations of celebrities. If you are a celebrity, represent one, or think this is unfair, do not watch this show. Warning, this show contains what could be seen as controversial and subversive ideas and opinions. If you can't handle differing opinions, do not watch this show. Warning, this show actively shows the consumption of tobacco, cannabis and alcohol. If this offends you, do not watch this show. Warning, this show may discuss topics including, but not limited to, those in the realm of politics and conspiracy theories in a politically incorrect format. If these topics offend you or make you uneasy, please do not watch this show. Warning, the producers of this show will do almost anything for a laugh. If comedy or extreme comedic premises offend you, please do not watch this show. The opinions expressed on this show are not necessarily those of the producers, affiliates, ISPs, streaming platforms, advertisers, partners or alike.
Coming to you from an undisclosed location inside the beautiful land of the Blackfoot Confederacy and Treaty 7 territory, Big Nate Productions presents Getting Laid with Nate.
Hey, everybody. Happy Friday night. Cheers. There we go. Cheers. Cheers. Thanks to the people at New Level Brewing. newlevelbrewing.ca. I just got an email from Drew the other day. He's a great sponsor. They are. And if you give this exclusive online code, Late with Nate, all one word. He had it in caps. I like to communicate in caps. Late with Nate on your online order at newlevelbrewing.ca, you'll get a one-time 10% off. So I would be smart with that. I would buy $1,000 worth of product and, save $100. Yeah. So I see the chat is popping off. I have my 5-head poofied. I'm wearing makeup right now, which is hilarious. Before we get started with the exclusive online or exclusive live performance of Vertigo and their interview, there you go. Promo code Late with Nate. Hell yeah. newlevelbrewing.ca. I'm going to play a place boing just to piss Jay off.
She says one thing, and...
Oh, no. That sucks. No. That sucks.
Wait, we haven't corroborated any of this, so, I just think you should be very, we haven't corroborated any of this. We haven't corroborated any of this, so I haven't corroborated any of this. We haven't corroborated any of this.
That sucks. Pull the fact, and all the fact checks show that your claim is false. All the fact checks show that, and all the fact checks show that sucks. Pull the fact, and all the fact checks show that your claim is false. All the fact checks show that, and all the fact checks show that sucks. And all the fact checks show, and all the fact checks show that, and all the fact checks show.
Go to HillaryClinton.com. You can fact check them.
Fuck. Okay, so that was called That Sucks, the CNN remix. Put out on November 7, 2016. Has about 463,000 views. That guy cracks me up. We're slowly making our way through the place boings. I wanted to mention, Chase isn't here tonight. It's like the first time it's snowed this year in Calgary, or this season. So I imagine that made it too hard to get out here. But he is in the chat, so say hi, Chase. Now, Chase and I, we invited in Vertigo down to the Slaughterhouse. Go to slaughterhousestudioscalgary.com. Book your band in for a jam or recording there or shoot. We went down there. Chase had 10 angles of cameras, and I brought my big board, and we recorded these guys doing a live performance. And I sat down with a couple of them this week. So check it out. See you in about, I don't know, I think it's half an hour. Hey, everybody. I'm here this evening within Vertigo. How's it going there, fellers?
Good.
I got to read and then say hi, Shaddy.
Shaddy.
Oh, there we go.
Hey.
Hi, Shaddy.
Hey, Shaddy.
Thanks for getting on the show this evening, fellas. Thanks for taking the time out.
Thanks for having us.
You guys have a sold-out show coming up, right?
Next week, 7 days.
7 days? Cool.
October 21st.
October 21st. Cool. At the where?
Blind Beggar.
Blind Beggar. Nice. I saw it sold out in 3 days.
Yep, unbelievable. It's just a true testament of our fans and our friends and people that really love to support us, and super grateful about that. So we're itching to get on the stage and perform for everyone.
Do you know what their protocol is? Did they pull a Dickens and just sheet the front with Lexan, or?
We actually did a secret show there to break in our new drummer. We did it about 2 weeks ago, so we've played there before since COVID. And it's the same rules as every restaurant, every bar. Everyone wears a mask until they sit down, and then when you sit down, you can take it off. Your server comes, brings you drinks, and the band is on the stage, front of the stage. There's plexiglass surrounding the band, so it's different for sure.
Yeah. Holy fishbowl, eh? Like, isn't that it's funny how it's like live music has been pushed into a fishbowl all of a sudden. But
yeah, and we're the kind of... Sorry, go ahead.
But at least we can do it, is all I was going to say.
That's it. Like, we're the kind of band, it's really hard for us to not be close with our audience. It's like where we get a lot of our juice from. So, but it's either this or nothing. So obviously we're going to take it.
Fucking A. Well, I want to commend you guys because you took me up on my offer. It was really hard to find bands practiced. Like, even my band shut down after the COVIDs here. I haven't jammed since March. We were practicing for a show on March 14th that got canceled. So we were super practiced, and we haven't been able to get together since. And well, I was surprised how many other bands were in this situation. So I was really happy when you guys took me up on the offer of coming on the show. We're going to watch this video in a minute here. And you guys were technically, in the day of shooting, the first band to be a Getting Late with Nate live performance. So thank you.
It's wicked, man.
Yeah, thank you, Nate, man. I mean, it's a really awesome opportunity, and we're really stoked to see this thing. But you kind of caught us in a perfect storm. I mean, as you know, and a lot of our fans know, and people in the scene, that we ended up switching drummers. And it just so happened that it was that perfect moment where we had found our new guy, the brother that we needed in this band.
Right. And sorry to cut you off, but let's do it. Let's officially, this is kind of an exclusive for the show here too, right? We're announcing
your
drummer. Let's bump it up. What's oh you dropped me. You just dropped 25 people, sir. Oh, now we have your legal name.
We call him B, but his name's Brian.
Sorry. Do that again. Say that again. You call him B, but his name's Bayan?
Yeah. Or Bayan, but I don't say it properly.
Bayan. And Bajan, am I correct? No. How do we spell his name? Do we know?
It's like Bayan, I think.
Oh, Bayan, right. And okay, so
Is Shaddy muted?
Sorry.
No, I'm on now. I think I'm on. Am I working?
Yeah.
that was a crash. So Bayan, how new is Bayan?
I think like 34 days.
Woo.
He joined the band, and within 20 days of our first jam, we did a gig with him. And then now we're doing a gig 2 weeks after that. So it's pretty quick.
And that's what I'm saying too there, Nate. Like, it was just kind of like the perfect timing. We were gearing up for the show and getting them all up to speed. And I mean, we've been, working like dogs, just trying to make sure that we can get Brian right to where we were as a 4-piece. And he's done an absolute amazing job. He's just been a fucking killer drummer, man. And he's been a workhorse, and he's been learning and wants to learn and wants to make sure that he's doing his part and wants to be that 4th piece. And well, I mean, I guess you're gonna see it here too in the live video that we did for you. But he's an absolute gem, a phenomenal drummer, and a great friend. So we're really happy that it all just kind of worked all within such a short amount of time. It's literally like a tropical fuck storm. Like it literally was just a whirlwind. It just came out of nowhere, and it just somehow, just like this band always does, we don't know why, it just lined up perfectly. Out of all the mess, it just lined up perfectly, and it's well, now we're going to be doing live shows again, so we're fucking stoked about it.
Hell yeah. And like I was saying, you guys have kept working, so that's in the face of all this crazy adversity, you guys have gotten a drummer. Like that's and kept going, and so yeah, let's what was the name of the first I didn't even ask you. I got to write it down. I'm such a dick. What was the name of the first song that we recorded that day?
I think it's Chains, right, Reed?
Yeah.
I believe so.
Chains first, yeah.
That would make sense. That just mixing it 100 times, there's a hook in there around that.
There's a stutter, and you can make fun of me if you'd like.
Oh, well, I love this because this is an exclusive performance for this. So thank you so much again. Like the little weird quirks are exactly, that's what I'm looking for. Is this off? This is off which album?
So we released this actually during COVID. It's our first EP. It's called the EP is called Sex, Love, and Chaos.
Cool. And just to get a bit geeky before we watch the video, where'd you record it? Who'd you record it with?
We actually tracked this, I don't know what, Reed, is it about 2 years ago now?
The original, like anything that was originally done was about 2 years ago, yeah.
Yeah. So 2 years ago, we did it at Karel Teleshev's studio. It's called The Sound Priory. So we tracked it. We had a CD release of physical copies only that sometime in that time period. We got signed in between that off of our first single.
Woof.
And
Where? With who?
Rock Shots Records out of Italy.
Wild. Cool.
So thanks. So in between that, we went back in the studio and just touched up some stuff. But this stuff is about 2 years old at this point, yeah.
Right. I had seen that. Like you guys released a video and then you got signed and kind of went in and remixed it or something like that and then re-released a stronger one, right? Yeah.
Yeah, you got it. We hadn't released it digitally yet. So we only had physical copies that we would just sell on tour.
Sure. Very cool. Nobody's going to bitch about that. Nobody's going to be, I got the first pressing when they were on tour in my town.
There's actually a typo on that pressing, so
nice. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. For the fans.
In the track listing of all things.
So cool. This is the Tune Chains. Is there a name for the EP? Is it self-titled or
Sex, Love, and Chaos?
Gangster. We'll be right back.
But you always let her off. You got a transport me. Yeah, with the right contempt of God I know. So when I'm over, I'll just have one thing to say. I'm gonna beat me when you tie me up and change her, the change on, goddamn, it feels like a job you play. You tried to warn me I'm insane, girl. I didn't see this at all. That you were like me in your basement gas room with our old voodoo dolls. So when it's over and I'm still sober, my only question out here for you: will you still wanna play? How long, baby, when you tie me up and you change on, goddamn, it feels like a job you crazy. How long, baby, when you tie me up and you change on, goddamn, it feels like a job you crazy.
Hey, everybody, we're back. That was Chains by Vertigo off their EP, Sex, Love, and Chaos. Holy shit. Thanks for coming down and doing it, guys. Wasn't that fun?
It was a blast.
It looks fucking awesome, man. Both you and Chase, big shout out for what you guys have done. Like that was super cool. No one would believe that's local, man. That looks awesome.
Well, this is a late night show. We're Canada's only late night show.
Long overdue.
Thank you, Shaddy. How about that Bayan? Man, he is a crusher drummer. Holy shit.
Yeah, man, he's an absolute beast behind the kit, and mentioning it off air to you, but he's been a really good influence on us on a lot of fronts. He takes care of his body a lot too. Not that he's like straight edge or anything like that, but just how he views his body, and especially in a physical instrument like drums. It's really nice having that kind of element in the band and that different dynamic. It really did have a positive effect on all of us, especially kind of in a weird time like COVID, where you can take the time to kind of reevaluate, what we can do to kind of, maybe be able to perform longer and our longevity and our stamina. And it really is great to have a guy like that in the band. It really makes a huge difference. So he's a great addition, that's for sure.
A positive addition is always adds. It doesn't take away. That's great, man.
Yeah.
Great to hear. Yeah, you're either adding or you're taking away, right, man? And I did you guys ever see Me 3? His old band?
No, never did.
We did. I'm a Gemini. I refer to myself as we, I guess. I did sound for them a whack of times, and they were all like that. They were a 3-piece, and they were like and they were very nice and respectful to the crowd, and they were hilarious. They were a great time. Me 3 was good. That was the first time I met Bayan.
Yeah, man. Nice
boys.
boys.
4 years ago or something.
Nice boys don't play rock and roll, right?
Well, it's good to see him getting gritty with you guys. That's a good time. So, what else? How many tours did you cancel?
We canceled one. So we were right before COVID. We were scheduled in the studio for a week, and we were going to record our follow-up to Sex, Love, and Chaos. And right after that was done, we were going to hit the road. And we had a great tour booked and planned. It was going to be our most successful tour within our 4 years of being in a band. We had built kind of the foundations of all these cities that we play. And it all came crashing down, obviously. And we didn't even record. We were, at that point, the virus was still early on. So we weren't sure if this was going to be like a zombie apocalypse or the severity of it. I mean, we were all hoping it was what it became, which is, if you're smart, you won't get it. And if you're kind of cautious, but we canceled the studio time and the tour obviously got canceled. I remember getting those phone calls and those emails within hours apart. It was like Vancouver, we're canceling it. Revelstoke, canceling it. It was, every single one was depressing to get, but it's understandable. What can you do?
Fair enough. I always forget to bring up everybody in the band, and I'm a bass player, and we haven't talked about Duncan yet. So can we just give Duncan a shout out too?
He's our best kept secret.
He's solid as fuck. Like I'm sitting here mixing this live shit, and I'm like, I got a sub in here too. I'm trying to make it nice, right? And it's good times. He's got a nice right hand, man. You don't want to talk about how awesome Duncan is, Shaddy?
No. I mean, no.
I live with the guy. I have a different perspective.
That's fair enough.
No, I'm just kidding. Duncan's amazing. Go ahead, Reed.
No, I was just gonna say, it's just like, being a bassist in a rock and roll band and making sure that, especially as a 4-piece, that everyone's got to be super tight and super locked in. That's one thing. But then also he's the other vocalist in the band, and there's some shit, especially with some of the crazy riffs and some of the stuff we do. To be able to play the bass along with the band and sing along with me, it really is, like Shaddy said, the secret weapon, man. Like that's a fucking tough job to do, man. And like I sometimes look at him like, man, oh man, I'm glad I'm just focusing on singing, because watching him sometimes do the harmony and playing a crazy bass line or locking down a groove or whatever like that, it's not easy. So he does a great job.
Oh, 100%. And yeah, he's like glue guy, right? He's all this stuff that nobody knows is happening.
Even when it comes to songwriting, he's that guy. He's the, he bridges kind of my world and Reed's world together,
Cool.
and really helps put the songs. He gets exactly where both of us are coming from and what we're doing, and he's crucial to what we do.
So he's like a artistic diva referee, is what you're saying. Just kidding. I'm just
yeah, no, that's not a bad analysis, honestly.
What the fuck is that supposed to mean?
I mean, look. I mean, when you're writing, you can only have so many guys with ideas, right?
No,
And
I
it has
feel
to
that,
be-
bro. I'm in a band too. I feel that. Like, that's what it is. It's we're all individuals. We're just trying to get our ideas across, right? Like, we're just trying to make the best thing.
Yeah, and he helps a lot with that. Like, he just has the right personality. He's got the patience, and he's also has the insane musical background. Whether it's understanding just these dirty, nasty riffs, or to find the harmonies that sync up with Reed. It's really fun to watch, man. I love those moments working together.
Totally. Smooth guy. So since I have the two of you on, I wanted to ask you kind of, and then we're going to play the second video we did. But like Shaddy, I mean, we've been going to fucking house parties together since what year? I wanted to ask you both, like, how long have you been in Calgary? Where the hell did we all come from? Why the fuck are we all here?
I mean, it's a simple answer. Too long.
Yeah, no, for sure. But when did you move to Calgary, Shaddy? Or are you one of those guys that grew up here?
I was born here, but I didn't grow up here, and I moved back when I was 17. I left when I was about 7, and I came back at 17. I'm sorry, at 18.
So you did your whole like formative years somewhere else, and then came back to Calgary.
but I did get into rock and roll here.
Nice.
So yeah, I left with that chip on my shoulder, and it came back with me.
Well, great. What about you, Reed? How long are you from Calgary?
Originally, I'm from Winnipeg, Manitoba, but that's where all the family is and stuff. But I was raised here, and I identify as an Albertan. I identify as a Calgarian. So I've been here for a long time.
Yeah, me too. Really, I moved here in 2001, so that's almost 20 years. I'll be 40 and I'll be 40 in 22. So I identify as an Albertan. Well, ish. Not. I'm not a yellow vester, that's for sure.
Yeah, I don't think they identify as Albertans either, though. So you're all right.
But yeah, there's no box on the census for that.
What part of the States are you from, Nate?
I grew up just south of Portland, Oregon.
Portland, that's right. We were in Florida last year for Independence Day. That was the first time.
Oh boy!
Any of us got to do a gig there, and it was surreal. It was unreal, man. The American audience is something else.
I'll be honest with you. I grew up in Oregon, and I don't think I've seen that American of anything.
You know what?
You
man?
said 4th of July in fucking Florida. Holy shit!
You know, man. I don't think we saw any of that. Honestly, we saw all the positive side to it. I mean, we saw some weird gun-related stuff, but that's their trip, and that's their thing, you know. But
right.
when it comes to like man to man and hanging out with people and meeting the locals, they were all very cool and welcoming, and they treated us really well.
Well, and isn't that the thing, right? Like, I was invited on a podcast earlier this afternoon, and they were asking me about my American, heritage and about politics, and it's just like everybody's the same, man. Like, everybody just is cool and wants to, generally, like the general, you and I, we just want to go out and have drinks and eat pussy and fuck, right? Like, and just, like.
You know what it is there, Nate?
Good, clean fun.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, you shower afterwards, right? But
Well, hopefully before too.
yeah. But I was gonna say is like at the end of the day, whatever your reserved thoughts are on different, collective groups of people, the individual is an individual, man. Like people are people. You're gonna have assholes in every country. You're gonna have great people in every country. You're gonna have the smart ones. You're gonna have the dumb ones. It doesn't matter. People are people. It's just when you look at it from a collective standpoint, I totally understand. People are going to stereotype people, and they're going to try and pool everyone into one group, and that's just how it is, but it's probably always going to be. But you're right. When it comes down to just you, me, and the apple tree, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and even as crazy as Florida is, like we've all seen these like Florida man, stuff. Yeah. As long as you don't walk up and spit in somebody's face, like they're not going to punch you.
Totally.
To what you're saying, it's like if everybody's just cool, that is the only rule. Just be cool and have a good time and be a good person.
Totally.
It feels like in the States, though, if you fuck around with that, like in the state, if you're in a bar in Texas and you fucking hit on some guy's girl, he's going to fucking pull a gun on you.
Yeah, well, Nate, if you hit on my girlfriend, I'll pull this gun on you. Buddy.
No, but on
this fucker right here.
I love it. That's huge. That's crazy.
Yeah, when you're on the road and you're touring and you're playing different cities and stuff, like as a band, you already get a lot of, let's just say, leeway to do shit you wouldn't normally do. But it's important to also kind of know your boundaries and respect the place that you're in and get to know the people for how they live, and that's one of the coolest parts of traveling and seeing the country, right? Or seeing the continent.
Fucking A. And it's awesome. What is the craziest tour story? Let's wrap up with that. What is it? Who is pissing on who? Where was the squirting coming from?
We'll go out of the top 10 for this question, all right? Just because I'm sure family members might listen or something like that.
Oh, okay. I guess my mom is listening. What the fuck am I talking about?
Yeah,
Sorry,
I'm pleading the fifth.
Yeah, the fifth of Jack. The fifth of Jack.
Fuck, I knew this was going to happen. God damn it. All right, well, let's talk about... I didn't ask you what the name of the second song that we recorded that day was. What is it? I'll write it down.
Save Me.
One more time.
Save Me.
Save me.
Shave with an H.
Shave. Yeah, I was like.
Yeah, we just want you to say it on the air, bud. We just want to get you saying it. That's all.
All right. So the show is sold out. Can't go see it. The Blind Beggar. Let's promote it anyways. You're playing there. What was the date again?
Yeah, so we're performing October 21st. We're gonna have our dear friend Gil Tugas. He's gonna be doing the opening slot acoustic. And he's gonna be playing a lot of his tunes and maybe a few covers here and there if he decides. But a guy we all look up to and a well-respected guy within the scene and a long-time veteran of the scene too.
Totally. Gil, yeah, totally.
And we sold out 110 tickets. That's the max that we could do. So it's all by tables. We sold that out. There's a lot of people itching. Yeah,
they can do 110 with tables. That's impressive.
Yeah, but it's like that's the most they could ever squeeze in. Like that's probably fighting for that last 10. And so they've been very generous and very accommodating, and everything's working out really nicely. But we're planning on maybe doing another show like this. Because there was so much demand. Like there was people messaging us afterwards, and there's a waiting list just in case someone drops out of their table or whatever. But we might just do another one of these down the road here pretty soon because we did not expect. Not that we don't doubt ourselves or our fans or our support or anything, but we did not expect it to just be sold out that quick and have that much people wanting to be a part of this event and this kind of experience with us. So,
yeah, very cool. I mean, Dickens is doing that thing where they're doing 2 shows, right? In this like soft opening. So that'd be, I mean, anyways, like it's just funny to see the evolution of what they're trying to do here.
You got to.
And honestly, I don't know how places are. I don't know how places are staying open right now, man. I can't imagine what they're going through. Like, you know, we're broke. Our kind of funds ran dry over COVID, like everyone else's. You know, we had a band fund, we released an album, we released a video, and it's expensive. Like, stuff costs money, and now we're rebuilding this because we make our money when we perform. That's how bands work. And I just don't know how the industry is doing. Like, not even the smaller places, but even, you know, bigger concerts and big promoters, and like what the future for this is, I have no clue.
It's fucking crazy, man. It's fucking crazy. Like, I had Chris on the show, and he was saying he's operating at 20%. So, how do you go from 400 to 80?
That's crazy.
It's like a you know, wiping everything clean. It's like formatting a computer. You know, everything is going to go back to the beginning, and we'll see where it goes. You know, fortunately, there's a lot of good bands, good musicians, and good guys like Chris and Doug from the Blind Beggar, and hopefully they can, you know, either see their way out of this or start something new if anything goes wrong.
Yeah, fair enough. So, you guys have been able to pull off your continued momentum because don't you all live together? So you have a band house, right? Like, you're cohorts. So,
well,
is that right?
At one point, we were rehearsing 2-3 times a week, and we were gigging 2-3 times a week. So I would see these guys more than anyone else in my life.
Not during COVID.
Not during COVID. All right before COVID. Yeah, I mean, we were burnt out by COVID. Like, it was a welcome break for us. It was awful, but at the same time, we needed it, and we needed to reevaluate where we were at just as individuals. We do have our own space that we rent out that a couple of us live in, and that's where all the music gets written. And we've thrown a couple shows here during COVID, and it's a cool spot, man. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, let's talk about Save Me. Let's talk about it. Tell me about it, Reed. Where are we saving you from?
Well, I battled a lot of anger management issues as a kid growing up, and
fair enough.
Now I'm more zen. And I get all my anger out through music and performing and playing hockey whenever I can. So I don't know. Just it's a song just about kind of maybe not necessarily looking at any specific person, but maybe just looking in the mirror and just asking if you could save me from myself. You know.
Fair enough. And where is the place that you guys get the most money if people buy your shit? That's how I'm going to ask that question from now on.
We don't even have an online store, man. Literally, you just have to
can't buy merch anywhere.
You can't buy merch. You got to come to a show.
Holy fuck.
We're pretty backwards on this whole thing, man. We're like, all we know how to do is pack our shit up, go to a venue, and play.
You're glorified movers.
That's a very good way of putting it.
But
we're going to set this up over time, but right now it's like, I don't know, our head's in like 10 different places, man.
I feel that. My band is the exact same way. So and we're doing nothing. You guys are doing shows, so that's amazing.
Well, we're not businessmen, right? We're musicians. We just want to play. Exactly. And I've always noticed the guys that have the best online stores and all that shit tend to lack in the part that matters, you know? So
kind of like the guy with the big truck, right?
Yeah, exactly. Probably doesn't know how to drive it.
Yeah. Big tires, whatever. Okay, guys.
And, just so you know there, Nate, too, just so people know, this is the only place that you're going to be able to hear this song. It's just this live version. We don't have this. This will be on the next release. This is a song that we've been performing for a while, but this is going to be the only place right now where people are going to be able to listen to this song.
Wow, really? Save Me?
Yeah.
But not Chains. Chains is on
Chains
the
is
EP.
out there. Chains is out there, man. Chains has been circulating. But Save Me, this is the only place that you can listen to this song and or watch it, I guess, because I don't know if there's videos of it, like a live video out there. But we're in the process of pre-pro and wanting to eventually get this track. So that's what's kind of exciting about this too. Is it's kind of a sneak peek into what's the next stage for Vertigo here.
Very cool. I enjoyed mixing it. You guys play. You all have good tones. Like, Buy-in's kit is tuned rad. Duncan's tone is awesome. You sing hard. Shaddy. I mean, well, what can we say about Shaddy and his guitar playing? God damn it.
A lot of things.
This is actually, Save Me was it's a very special tune for us because it was written in about under an hour. We just showed up.
It's shorter too, I noticed. Like, you guys threw
yeah.
out the punk rock song there or whatever. Fucking.
Yeah.
Totally. No, that's where it comes from. And it wasn't even supposed to be a song, honestly. I was working on a bunch of different riffs, and that was one that I didn't even think was really good. And I brought it to jam on a whim, and everyone just wrote that song in that moment. It was really special kind of jam for us.
Yeah, that shit is... See, that's why I play in a band. Like the whole... Like, also, you know, when you play something you've written to a crowd and they pop off, I mean, that's heroin, right?
Yeah,
but
definitely.
Then... But also...
That's the needle.
Well, it's... okay. Could be pills. I don't know. You can smoke pills, can't you? I don't know. But the other one, and maybe this is the pills, is when it all comes together in a jam with you and your three other bros, right? It's like, holy fuck, did that really just happen? That wasn't me. That was all of us. That's crazy.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah, I agree 100%, man. It's one of the biggest reasons why I do it. I love that moment in rehearsal when everything just blows up.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And then it gets tighter. You keep rehearsing, it gets tighter and tighter. And you're like, yeah. It's like, I've always said that being in a band is like having three other girlfriends who are dudes that you can't fuck. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
My buddy pointed out, he's like, well, the music is the fucking. And I'm like,
exactly.
Well, yes, exactly. You know, that's what it is. It's...
I fuck Reed all the time.
Musically.
He's a good sport.
Another exclusive here on Getting Laid with Nate.
Oh, no, people know. People know.
I thought you were talking about the song. I forgot what I just said.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot for coming on. Pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Save Me by Vertigo. Peace.
When the fire's on and I'm too gone, won't you save me from myself? I won't think I control when I need help. Won't you save me from myself? I'm a triple desire on the running of the balls, on the brink of corruption. I'm about to explode. I've lost the reason. Condon, and I'm too done. Won't you see me from myself? I won't take no control when I need you. Won't you save me?
God damn. Wasn't that awesome? Fuck. Those turned out really good. In the following weeks, we have another set of Slaughterhouse sessions coming to you. I just wanted to show off their website again because this is their rooms. This is a big room. This is a kill floor. There's lots of room. We filmed right behind this guy. And then there's another studios. I just want to show you another one of the big rooms here. But yeah, it's a huge shout out to Bob at Slaughterhouse. He let us film all that down there, and hit him up if you need somewhere to jam, you need somewhere to record, do photo shoot, do video. He's got this big crazy space. This room again is much more completed and evolved than from these pictures. So yeah, go to slaughterhousestudioscalgary.com and just call him. That's what Bob says too. Look him up and call him. He's not great on the internet. So yeah. Next. I can't believe how well I did that. Next. Place point.
Stop it. And I say stop it. And I'll say it right to the camera. Stop it. Stop. And I say stop. And I say stop it. Stop it. I will say this, and I'll say it right to the camera. Stop it. Right to the camera. Stop it. Stop it. Right to the camera. Stop it.
That's a good ass time. Okay, so now, today, earlier this afternoon actually, I talked with my friend Robyn in this ongoing series of spooky stories that she has because she's like a paranormal enthusiast is the only name we've been able to come up with her title. And yeah, so we just chatted more about scary stuff. I'll admit, it didn't get super scary today, but it got close. Hi, everybody. I'm here again today with Robyn Condon. How's it going?
It's good. It's the same every day.
Cool. I think I'm gonna have to hire you all year. This is becoming very popular. People are liking the scary stories.
Yay.
We'll definitely do October at least. So we were at the Silver something.
I think that we kind of like have gone there and done a lot of stuff there. We should go somewhere else.
Cool.
Do something else.
I'm down.
Another place, not Nevada, but my other favorite state is Montana. So
nice.
We can talk about the oldest running brothel in, I believe, America's history, the Demas brothel, which ran until like the late 80s.
Wow.
Yeah. I stayed a lot of time, spent a lot of time in there over the last little bit until Michael Peace and Travis lost the building. And that was like a year ago to back taxes. Michael's been dead for like 3 years. He's the old owner that I met the first time I went down. Do you believe in past lives?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I think so.
What do you do? You think you're an old soul, like you have past lives?
I think yes. I think I've had a few.
Okay.
I had a weird dream that I got shot in a card game in the 30s. And that was my past life.
Did you feel it?
Yes.
Did you feel it in your dream?
Yes.
Where'd you get shot?
Through the ribs.
Ouch.
And I have weird, like, beauty marks there.
Shut up. That's cool.
Yeah, it's weird.
Well, dreams are the subconscious, you know? So maybe there's something to that.
Yeah.
Maybe you were a Wild West cowboy.
It seemed more like Card Sharky trying to...
Oh, like Vegas?
Well, like in the alley, you know, doing like 3-card Monte or something, and somebody was mad at me.
Like the streets of New York City?
Something like that, yeah, hanging out at the brownstones, you know.
Oh, that's rad. That's like almost the premise of Fargo this season. Now, Butte, Montana, I don't know if you've ever been.
I have. There's a giant hole there.
What? Yeah.
Well, that giant pit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, you're cutting out a little bit.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. But all the architecture and all the buildings are kind of like vacant, and it's kind of like a dusty old town. Everyone you meet has a criminal record. Like, you're not going to have your friends come and visit you up in Canada. They all felons, you know?
Yeah.
But everyone you meet has a really cool story, and they're all individuals. And it's definitely a town that does not go with time. Like, time isn't even a thing there. I've been waiting outside the Dumas sometimes for like 4 hours waiting for someone to come and just open the doors. I stayed a whole weekend there by myself, which was absolutely intense. But the story I want to tell you today is the story of going down there April 16th of, I believe it was 2018.
Okay.
We decided to rent out the prison for an event. We would do events where we would actually it was like, we got to go be in a haunted prison for free, and then the prison made money. Like, there was no exchange of goods or anything. It was cool to be in there. It was a whole city block, and it's Montana's first territorial prison. So basically, prisoners built it with their bare hands, like the walls and everything. And one of the buildings is gone, one of the cell buildings. But it's still got all of the other buildings open. You can go up into the towers, and there's about 200 cells on each side, I think it is. Or, no, 100 on each side, 25 on each floor. So 4 floors of cells on 2 sides in the cell block. And you can go in every single cell in the pitch black. Yeah. So it's one of the scariest places I've ever been. And this weekend was definitely host to the second scariest night of me investigating anything ever. We decided, since we'd been there a couple times before, to research the prison. And basically what happened was we rented it out on the 50-year anniversary of the Great Riot that happened in 1959, I believe. And also a riot happened in 1909. So it's almost like every 50 years something goes down. The crazy part is, you know, basically... this prison is, I think, a home of like an elemental. I think the prison was built there because the ground is bad, you know? But we're talking about a different time as opposed to the scariest time. So we rented out the prison. We went down there earlier. We had a hotel room across the way. I was there with the owner of the Dumas. We had gone to Lincoln earlier, another haunted hotel. Lincoln, Montana is really cool. But when we ended up at the prison hotel, waiting for the other people to come, a psychic and also another investigator, when they showed up, the psychic had asked me who William was. And I had gone the day prior, and she didn't even know, to a grave and conjured this guy, William, who was actually part of the 1909 riot and one of only 2 people to be hung on the grounds.
Whoa.
So I decided to try to conjure a spirit, and I guess I did.
Holy
because
shit.
when I asked her what he looked like, she described him to a T, and she'd never seen a picture. She told me that he was slapping his ass in her face. I don't know. And laughing at all my little innuendos. Like if I said the word stiff or hard, he would like make jokes of it. But we went to the prison to just take a look and introduce everybody. That night we were going to go do a week. And so the owner of the Dumas brothel had passed, and I wasn't there for the funeral. So I said, we should do a night where we all get together and just like tell stories and, you know, about the owner, Michael, and just kind of like have our own little remembrance. I decided to invite the psychic, even though she had no idea who Michael was, never met him. We couldn't just leave her there. The towns are like 30 minutes apart. So we drove to Butte, all of us. We went for dinner. We ate Michael's favorite meal. Then we went to the Dumas brothel. That was basically when we all kind of got together. Other employees came. Rachel came. Her boyfriend or whatever came. And there was about 5 of us there. We all kind of went into rooms, laughed about stories, you know, nothing crazy. There were a lot of occurrences. Like the spirits in the Dumas brothel are very active. Like if you want to have an experience in a building and you go in there alone, you will have one. There's actually like a picture of like Reese Witherspoon when she was like really young taking the tour and stuff.
Huh.
But it's one of the more active buildings. There's actually a mass grave in the basement that I don't know if the owners have found yet, but we found it with lots of children bones. It looked like rib bones and femurs. And I swear there's a woman buried underneath the stairs in the basement, just underneath them. I had dreams about that quite a bit. The building itself calls me Alice Black. Ever since I went there the first time on September 11th in 2016, I stayed the night with Michael, and the first time I walked in, they called me Alice Black twice. I caught also them calling me Alice while I was sleeping. Later, I found out from Michael's mom that the word Alice was actually engraved in the door underneath the paint in room 3. And she showed it to me, and you can actually see from the E, it looks like Robyn with a Y, also engraved. And when you ask the spirits there who Alice is, they say Robyn. So they know me by name. It's the only place I've ever really caught my full name being said.
Wild.
Like, I've also caught my voice in there, my mom's disembodied voice in there. You know, weird things. They like to mock a lot there. Lots of name calling. The first time I went in there, they told me, you know, Robyn's disgusting, you know, come on her face, you know, like just weird things that would happen in, you know, a whorehouse. You know, the top 2 floors were exceptionally nice in comparison to the basement where all the miners would actually go. And there was like tunnels, supposedly to the Chinatown area as well. That whole alley behind was called Venus Alley, and it was where they all hung out, all brothels down the street. There's actually a guy who owns a brothel across the street that's all blue, and he and his 2 kids live upstairs. He like made it into a home with like this awesome patio and this view. But this one was not as nice. Like the toilets were broken when we were there, etc. I've seen loads of apparitions in there. I've had loads of experiences. Very intelligent. They know who you are. They play with you. They toy with you. Poltergeist activity. I've had my recorder pulled out of my pocket and thrown into the hallway in front of my mom like 3 times. I've also blacked out in there and came to in other rooms, which people tell me is channeling, which I have caught on audio. It's creepy when you listen to it because you can actually hear them directing you around the building. And then when they say to go back, like I end up snapping out of it. I had no idea why I was in the madam's room. And so we were at this building hanging around, and at the end of the night, each of the cribs have a door that shuts, right? Because, you know, they're rooms for people
Sure.
to be, you know. So we
Get
had
freaky.
it got really freaky. I bet you in there, it was some kind of crazy, like 50 cents a client downstairs is what they would get or something. And they would service like up to 50 men a day.
Oh.
Yeah. And like no light. There's no light down there. Bars on all the windows. Like, so we were staying there, and the people we were with before they left, they started to tell me about this demon that everyone talks about. Now, I'm kind of loose with the term demon because I believe when you call something that, you give it power.
Sure.
So whatever kind of spirit thing that comes from the Chinese area district. Every single person I've talked to, and I've talked to 5 separate people on different occasions, have said the same thing. So it must be something. They say they see a little, Chinese mask, like a little demon cartoon Chinese mask, and he's on like a Care Bear cloud mobile, and he's flying around. And everybody says the same thing, and I've never seen it. I want to see it. I guess it's just this little thing. It's just, like just, okay, cool.
Weird.
But after they explained that to us, I put my recorder down beside where I was sleeping. We all decided to sleep in the same room. My paranormal investigator friend was in the one side, the psychic was on the other, and the owner was on the floor. I was sleeping on the couch. My recorder was on for 3.5 hours when I decided to wake up. There was a generator in the back cribs of the building, and Travis didn't know that there was actually a large tube going into our room, feeding the exhaust into our room. We were being poisoned for 3.5 hours by carbon monoxide emissions.
Holy
I woke
fuck.
up. I know. I woke up and I couldn't breathe. And I'm not like a cigarette smoker. So I was like, why can't I breathe? And then when I sat up, my head exploded like this. And I just vomited. Just blah. And then I couldn't feel any of my limbs. Like my limbs all went numb and I was having a hard time breathing or gathering in kind of brain thought power. And then I looked over and the psychic was vomiting into a bag. And I looked at the other lady and she was falling into a wall. And I was like, okay, something's up. So I started to ask people about the symptoms and everybody said the same thing. I turned off my recorder at that point. You can hear for like 35 minutes us vomiting and crying. Then I grabbed people's stuff and I started to huck it out of the building and put people's shoes on them and tell them to get out, They didn't really think a big problem. Even the psychic lady's like, it's my psychic energy. I was like, bitch, no.
Yeah. This is
your
carbon
psychic
monoxide.
Yeah. And so I guess I was probably about an hour away from dying because my toenails, they actually fell off my body.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah. But I believe I saved people's lives. And I was dressed as Grumpy Bear in a onesie because there was no heat in the building and it's colder than the outside because of whatever. And so we bought onesies. Could you imagine if they found me in room 7 on a velour couch dressed as Grumpy Bear and that's how I died?
Yeah.
It's crazy. So we had to go do this event at the prison and it was 30 minutes away. The 2 other ladies left. I was in the car with Travis. Travis had to drive. I wasn't functioning well. I kept throwing up. Then I blacked out. And then when I came to, we were in front of our hotel 30 minutes away. I was, during that whole 30 minutes, inside the Dumas brothel talking to a lady in a cream-colored negligee who was shouting about a dresser. She was just screaming at me. She had this brown hair. I remember it vividly. And then when I came to, I was like, oh, God, I think I'm dying. And I ran to this place, and this weird lady popped out of this grocery store, and she's like, you need some Alka-Seltzer. It'll oxygenate your blood. And I was like, wow, that's so smart. I swear to God, that lady saved me.
Wow.
That Alka-Seltzer.
Do you still think, like, you have, like, repercussions from that still?
I don't do well with, like, I lose my footing a lot. You could say it's because I smoke weed, but I really don't think so. My dreams suffer. I used to remember a lot of my dreams. Now I don't remember very many of them at all. I think I probably get more migraines now than I did. Yeah, I'd say it did a number on me for sure.
Yeah, that's nasty stuff. It's not.
Yeah. So now I have to do an event with like 30 people and lead them around this prison and manage this team of people. And then the psychic decided to get wasted. Yeah. The psychic decided to drink a 40-pounder of Lamb's Navy rum.
Oh, why not?
Why not?
Nothing to do that day.
I'm ready. Like she smelled so bad that I told her to go back. Like she came in to do each of them had groups that went around to different areas, and I was in the theater because I was playing guitar and stuff in the theater, and we were communicating there. And when they came in, the guests were so upset. They were furious. They're like, that lady's wasted, and how dare you run a thing like this? And I was like, I didn't even know she brought liquor in. She's not supposed to. So I sent her home, back to the hotel with Travis, the owner of the Dumas, who was also drinking. Thanks, Travis. Yeah. So me and the other lady are there, and we're leading the groups around. Everything kind of goes really awesome. And we get back to the hotel, and Steve Mace, like Mandible Claw.
Oh, yeah.
Not Mace, sorry, Steve, whatever. But yeah, so he was there. And he had come with his girlfriend, Tara, and they were doing the event with some other people from Calgary as well. When I got back to my hotel room, which was like Travis and the other two ladies, the lady kind of came to and was like, I want to talk to you, sit on my lap. So I went over and I sat beside her, and she grabbed my hands and she held them, and then she started to squeeze them really tight. And when I looked at her, and this is something that happens to me, is people's eyes will black out and then time will stop. I don't know what it is. But she looked at me and she said, you've been doing this for 10 years, you little bitch, and you have nothing to show for it. And she just started calling me all these names and fucking, squeezing my hand. I was like, this is freaky. So I got out of it and I just started packing my bag. I'm like, I'm not going to deal with this anymore. Like, this drunk psychic's channeling things from the prison. And I'm out. So I packed my stuff, and she grabbed me by my arms, and I got bruises from it. I broke out of that, and I looked at her and I was like, don't touch me. That's when she chased me into the bathroom. My friends are just sitting there, by the way. 2 of them are just sitting there. She chased me in the bathroom and threw her body up against the door, telling me to let her in. And I had my knee up and I had bruises. When she stopped throwing her body up and everyone started telling me I was crazy, I left the room and got Steve, and I was like, Steve, you got to come down here and stand outside, have a smoke while I pack my bag. So nothing happens. If you hear anything, you're going to have to call the cops or whatever. And so I packed my bag and went into their room and slept in their room. And I had to move my car because I was so scared the lady was going to slash my tires. In the morning when we woke up, we went to Great Falls. I ditched everybody else. I just didn't want to see those other people. They totally ruined whatever I was set up. It was so stupid. And then I decided to go to this place, Fort Benton, after I left everybody. And on the way to Fort Benton, I actually saw a head-on collision.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So
there's some evil shit going down there, eh? Some pissed off people, pissed off spirits.
You think they're pissed off spirits?
Well, it sounds like it.
I think it's different. Why did I wake up?
Sure, yeah, I guess they're just fucking with you, aren't they? Maybe they're comedians.
The one dude that went into that woman, definitely. I think that was the warden. I don't think the warden likes me. He shows himself as a half dog, half man.
Huh.
And I know it sounds crazy, but I've seen him in the administration building, and then someone caught a picture of him later. And I was like, that's the thing I saw. And there's video evidence of this. You can see the shadow. You can see what I see. You can hear what I experience. But the shadow was it looked like a pit bull came up to a cage in my face and just growled at me. And then it grew into a 7-foot tall man. That's what I said happened to me. Turns out when I started to research the man, he actually raised bloodhounds.
Weird.
on the grounds. So isn't it weird that he's kind of paying his penance by being kind of stuck there? He was supposedly not completely a good man. He took advantage of the crops and ate the prisoners' food that they cultivated. If you were in prison and you were doing all that hard work and making food for him, it was, he'd kind of be then he was utilizing the funds, supposedly. And there's a book that's written about him that's negative that I've been trying to find forever by this prisoner, but I can't find it anywhere. But his name was Frank Connolly, and he was actually 6'7". So that 7-foot tall shadow, makes some sense. Yeah.
You were saying that you found some bones in this.
Yeah.
Is that the same place?
Yeah. So in the basement there, there's a mass grave. So basically, back alley abortions were a huge thing. If you got pregnant, what would you do? And there's a huge boiler in the basement. So you'd either, like that's basically, I think, kind of what unfortunately happened to some children.
So you found it just from feeling it, not from like digging in the ground or something like that?
The bones of the mass grave were found by Travis when he hit the wall and they poured out. The lady, though, that's buried under the stairs, that was in my dreams, that one I found.
Huh.
I'll take credit for that, for sure.
Fuck.
They used to call them my conspiracy dreams. They didn't believe it, and then they brought a really renowned psychic in. Because, like, all the TV shows have been there, right?
Okay.
And they brought the psychic in, and they pointed at the stairs, and they were like, there's a woman buried there. You're like, oh.
Nice.
You have this lady who always tells us,
Wild.
She's in some kind of, like, weird cloth. Because I always remember that. Like, I pull up the cloth, and the dust comes up, and then I wake up. Yeah. Your mom's going to think I'm a nut now.
No, she never said that. Yeah, no. Well, this stuff is interesting. It's so you were there for 4 days, you said?
So in total at the Dumas brothel, I probably stayed, I would say, about 15 days in total of my life. I've stayed there.
Oh yeah.
The first time I stayed there was with Michael, the owner, who's now deceased. And I mean, other times I stayed there after when he was alive, but he wasn't like meeting me there. He just got someone to come and open the building and then left me the keys and I got to stay there. I would talk to the spirits about, he's in trouble. You got to help him. And then he ended up dying like a year after I met him.
Wild.
It's really weird when you meet people on the road and then they die a year later and then you're sensitive and you're in these places that are prone to, boosting that up because they are so active that you actually see and talk to these people when you go back, but they're dead.
Did that happen with Michael?
Not so much with Michael, up front. Like when we were with the psychic in the room, she said he walked into the room and I could sense it. And then I got to say everything I kind of wanted to say that I never got to. Because he wanted to sell the building and move to Idaho. And I personally believe that building should have been mine. I'll always think that. It's sad that it's these other people's now. I'm sure they'll do something with it, but they basically got $100,000 building for $23,000.
Yeah, I believe that in Butte.
Yeah,
Butte's one of those places.
It was like an auction, right?
Right. Yeah.
They were back taxes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wish they would have just called me and been like, "Pay these taxes and it's yours."
Totally.
It would have been nice.
Cool. Well,
yeah.
I'm not shitting myself yet.
Really? That was not so bad?
Well, I guess I'm getting desensitized to it now.
That's what happens, though, is the more you experience and the more you know that you have the power to, if you see something, you can end what you're seeing because you have the power. It's when fear starts to show itself, like that day I was telling you at the prison, when we rented it for the 50th year, I did all this research on the land and I found out basically the land was used by another group of people called the Morrisites. And the Morrisites were basically an offshoot of Brigham Young's Mormonism. Okay. But they believed in reincarnation and I guess he didn't like that or something. Huh. So they camped out there and their church is still there. You can see the building. It's about 3 kilometers away from the prison itself, just south. It's just this little shanty. But we stayed there that night and I had everything figured out and I printed off this man, Joseph Morris's sermons, right?
Okay.
Because basically Brigham Young came and he shot up the place with cannons like his men did after they had captured some of his other men. And they had decapitated women, the walls, and people were dying, innocent bystanders. And then they took Joseph Morris and his first successor. So think about that in the way that the prison echoes it. The warden and the deputy warden, right? And he slaughtered them. Well, every 50 years the prison was open pretty much, like so 1909, 1959. The same thing happened in the same building. 2 men stormed the building, broke into the exact same room, ended up killing the deputy warden in the exact same place, and trying to kill the warden but not succeeding. And so that can't just be coincidence, right?
Yeah, what do you call that then? Just like echoes in the
Residual
timeline? Residual.
I would guess. But so we decided to rent it. We bought all these sermons. I printed out about 12. I didn't know that it was actually Easter Sunday. So not only that, it's the day of the resurrection. And then we're in this field and I open the duotang and all of the sermons fall out face down, like 12 of them. When does that happen? And I said, pointed to the one girl, because there was 4 of us. And I was like, you pick one and I will read it in the field. And so she picked one and it said the damning of the wicked and the resurrection of Christ, like on Easter.
Wow.
So I read this sermon and it got really weird. It was like probably, I don't know, 7 or 8 when I read it. Like sun was still going down. And one of the lines I'll never forget was, "For the earth will shake in my presence." And I kind of looked at everyone when I read that. And I guess a month later, Montana had like their biggest earthquake ever in like 100 years. And it was basically the last place I investigated on my way home. But whatever.
Wild.
But we were there. And so it was 1 man and then 3 ladies. And the church that they had was called the Church of the Firstborn. We didn't know it, but we were all firstborns. So it's like all these weird, like, So we went to maximum security prison first, and we kind of like let everything, we drew numbers out of a hat to see which buildings we were going to go in, because I wanted everything to be random. I wanted the ghosts to decide how this worked. So when we went into the maximum security prison, we ended up having a lot of activity, and Jay couldn't stay there. Max security used to be the women's prison. So we were kind of thinking because he was a man, maybe that was the reason. But he was like choking and he couldn't breathe. And when he would leave the building, he'd be okay. And he'd come back and be choking again. We actually caught voices saying like, that they don't like him or whatnot. So we left there after an hour of investigating, and we went to the car, and Jay kind of went to the theater by himself, and we decided that we were going to go to the Hole and the Showers. The Hole is a place I do not like. I do not like going in there. Ever since this night, I have yet to go in there again. I think being in there was not good. When we got into the area, we decided to go to the Showers, and we set up a REM pod, which is like an EMF meter with little color lights in the Thermin. Right. And we put it in an area where I had caught a picture of a bright, like blue orb. And at that moment, we started to see this weird shadow in the shower stall. And like when you see shadows, they're darker than dark, right? You're in a pitch black room as it is. But this shadow was curved. Like he was like leaning over. So it was like you couldn't see anything, but then you could see this weird thing leaning over, almost like he was pressing the Thermin like this. And so that was when we ended up, one lady started to feel like she got shanked. That was when everything started to go to shit. Everything started working by itself. We had things go off with no power. We had the REM pod played Scottish music. It had no power in it. And when I would grab it, it would surge. I started to get very angry because I'm empathic. So I started to get really agitated by everybody's voice. That was when I walked to the front of the shower area. And basically, it felt like a meat hook, like a giant hook went through my sternum. And I blacked out kind of. And when it pulled me through the door, I ended up in the hallway. And I had no idea how I got there. I remember my feet and my legs kind of went back. And that's when I quit that night. at about 1:30 in the morning. I left crying.
I've had enough.
It's scary when you don't have control.
Mm-hmm.
When we got back to the hotel, it followed us. Our bed shook. There were bangs on the walls and the ceilings, really loud. The hotel is across the street, you know. This prison is basically in the city. It's like on Main Street. Sure. But it was...
Why not? It's Butte. What better place for prison than on Main Street?
Well, that one was Deer Lodge, which is half an hour away.
Oh, right. Sorry.
But yeah, Butte, for sure.
Yeah.
It's a rough part of the world, it seems. The funny part, though, was when I ended up in Fort Benton, after I saw the head-on collision, I collapsed in my haunted hotel room at the Union Hotel, and I decided to go get drunk. So I went to the local bar called the Poorhouse, and I met some guy named Daddy-O. Yeah. And he introduced me to all the locals, and this lady took a liking to me, and she took me for a tour of the grounds. And then I came back, and she told everybody that I felt people's deaths like I really did. And she was like, they all bought me drinks. And then I got so drunk, I went to the hotel, and I was eating my food, and I saw what I believe was William Hayes standing there, the guy I conjured. When I went back home, and after going to the hospital for oxygen and stuff, finally, I contacted this historian that I'm friends with in Montana, Ellen Balmer. She writes all the historical plaques for the buildings in Montana, works out of Helena University. I asked her about the man, and she said, it's weird that you ended in Fort Benton. And I was like, why? And she's like, that's where he was persecuted for his crimes. And it turned out the bar was right across the street from the government building where he was persecuted before he was sent to that prison. Weird, right?
Totally. I wanted to ask you, what's all involved with conjuring something? And then, was this guy mad when you conjured him? Was he like, what the fuck are you doing? I was fine.
I don't think he was mad. I think the warden was mad because this man basically broke in, and the prison actually let me hold the gun that this man shot the warden with, or the warden shot him with, sorry. What? So like the gun that they had in like a case in the back of the office, they were like, let's see what happens when you hold this. And I was like, oh no. But the warden got off like 3 shots, and he shot the guy in the ear and like somewhere else. And he actually nursed him back to health before they hung him. And the hangings in the yard, they were done with, like most people think it's like, oh, a trap door, right?
Right.
No, this was the sandbag pulley system.
Oof.
So you were strung up in like a vest with a mask, and you were put on this pulley system, and it was only erected for these 2 guys to be, put out. But
wacky.
It was pretty crazy. Like the whole weekend was just, I left that place with 3 less friends. Like those people that I saved their lives or whatever, or whoever saved whoever we lived, they don't talk to me. Yeah.
They're just that freaked out, you figure?
I don't know.
And just the whole situation?
I think it was actually the psychic manipulating.
Yeah.
The psychic probably felt embarrassed that she got drunk and let that happen. And then she probably manipulated the truth to make it look like I was the bad person, because all I did was delete them all off Facebook.
Fair enough.
Like, I just didn't want anybody to contact me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just wanted everyone to leave me alone. I'd had enough.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so weird how you pull the plug on Facebook and everyone's like, wow, you hate me for real. I hate you.
Yeah. We're still friends in real life.
Yeah, just not on the internet anymore, because I don't want to be bothered with it. Like, I didn't want to see any videos that they did after, because they went and stayed there after. And they made like this video. Debbie makes, the girl's name was Debbie. She makes these awesome videos. She was like the best lady ever. If she ever sees this, I miss her so much. But it's like, you can't compete when it's psychics telling you the truth and people believe it.
Yeah.
And you run into that so much in the field. Like, I've been a part of so many teams, and I've met so many teams over the course of the years, I've had teens come and meet me at haunted places. I had one come from Seattle, and they met me at the Silver Queen to do the Washoe Club, and I pulled the plug on it. Because I felt they were disrespectful.
Right, yeah.
You know,
you've brought that up a couple times where people are just in it for fame and glory or whatever, and not.
It's so weird. Like, wouldn't you be in it to learn about the mysticism of the universe?
Yeah, no doubt.
You know, like, what does that do? Why are you like this? Like, they always ask the same stupid questions. What year is it?
So,
is it paint?
Did you have to do, so obviously you did some kind of ritual to conjure this guy, right?
Mm-hmm. So basically I believe intention is everything. And the way your belief system works and the way your intentions work is kind of like the way that I did it. With a suggestion from the prison itself. The first time I went to the prison, the first time I saw a picture of this man, I felt sympathy for him, but I was leaving this one area, and when I was leaving, I heard this ding on the door. So I went to the area where I heard this weird sound, and I found on the table right beside the phone 3 dandelions that were overlapping in the same as a triangle. Well, I had a book in my bag called Aleister Crowley and the Ouija board, where I had actually drawn diagrams in the pages of doorways and how doorways work into our world. And triangles are evidently doorways, either into this world or whatever. And so I use natural objects that I find around the grave, and I create with pine cones or sticks or trees, triangle. And then I take rocks and stones. So that time I used black tourmaline for protection, and I used moldavite, which is a very powerful meteor. And I lit an incense, and then I meditated. And when I meditated and I sat there, I envisioned the man coming across the hillside towards me. And I had a device sitting that talks and says words. And I said, when you get here, let me know. And when my incense went out, it said arrive. And I was like, okay. And then I, went back to my hotel, and the next day she described this man to me. And then a year down the road, I actually went to Virginia City and met another psychic, and she's like, who's William? And I'm like, oh man, he's still around.
So do you think William's around, like telling her, yeah, Robyn, let me in?
Right.
She's the best.
I went back to the cemetery in 2018. So this time happened a year before that, so 2017. But 2018, I went back and I conjured again, or tried to. And when I did it, you can hear at the beginning, like on my audio, there's no wind. There's nothing. It's a nice day. And I get to the grave and you can hear voices, and I'm like, do you remember me? And, you can hear a man saying, yeah, and all this weird stuff. But the weirdest part was, as I was doing the visioning and trying to bring him forward, a tornado formed in front of me.
What?
And the shelf, I have a video of it. The shelf goes all the way around the graveyard around me, and it stops at the graveyard. And then the tornado's in front of me, and it's coming down and going back in. You can hear it on the audio, and there was all this hail and crazy stuff, and I had to put out my incense. Yeah.
Wacky.
But then I drove to Cripple Creek, Colorado, and I lit the rest of the incense because that's where he was originally from. And so I went to the only cemetery there, and I lit the rest of it there with my mother. And we had a little vigil. So I felt like I had to do that. I don't know why. I felt like it's something I had to do. So we actually drove through South Park.
Really?
Yeah, for real. It was pretty fun.
So do you think by going to his gravesite that might have helped him somehow? Maybe
I always thought, since they were he was one of the only 2 people to ever really be hung by the man,
Mm-hmm.
There was hangings, obviously, because it's a prison and prisoners are crazy. Mm-hmm. But with the hangings in Montana, there was only 2 supposedly ever on the grounds, and that was William Hayes and his accomplice. And so I felt like, why would he want to stay there?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
I always
go home.
Yeah, so I did research with the help of Ellen, and we found out where he was from. And I went to the cemetery and did that with my mom. And then I went to the casino. I found a quarter on the ground and I won $85. So we say that he took care of my gas there, you know, like, like the sidetrack was like 3 hours for no apparent reason other than to light an incense in a fucking cemetery, you know, crazy stuff. But
That's nice. That's actually, I think we'll end it on that this week because that's like a nice story.
yeah, a positive story. See, they don't, I truly believe that sometimes with the energies when they're negative, and you see like the repercussions of that, you're just absorbing the fact that that's a negative place. Prison's a negative place.
Yeah, and brothels and
Hey, brothels can't be all negative. I think they're like a nice little family in a way.
well, I'm just talking about this like 1800s one where it's like, you know, shit was crazy back then, you know.
Well, the upstairs girls had a good time. The downstairs girls not so much.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, thanks for your time. I got good notes here, so we'll know where we left off next week. And I don't know.
Talk about like South Dakota.
Yeah, South Dakota. Okay.
We can go to Deadwood next week or something.
Yeah, South Dakota must have a ton of shit because of the Indian Wars and they put Mount Rushmore out there. I'm sure that pissed a lot of people off.
Well, there's like the Black Hills where Deadwood is. And if you die there, you supposedly remain there forever. And it's actually a place I believe that. Like it's an eerie place. For sure.
Cool. Well, thanks for your time, Robyn.
You're welcome.
See ya.
Bye.
Yeah. Spooky. Good times. Thanks to Robyn. We got 2 more with her. We were talking about ending up in Calgary in Alberta and stuff. So very, very good times. She scares the shit out of me. All right. You know, it's not even Halloween, so why not play this?
I love Christmas. Ding 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 ding. Ding 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 ding. Ding. Merry Christmas. Ding 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 ding. Ding 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 ding. The word Christmas. I love Christmas. I love Christmas. You go to stores, you don't see the word Christmas. It says Happy Holidays. I say, where's Christmas? It says Happy Holidays. I tell my wife, where's Christmas? You don't see Merry Christmas anymore, right? I want to see Christmas. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Remember the expression Merry Christmas? You don't see it. You don't see it. You don't see it anymore. You don't see it anymore. You don't see it. You go to stores, you don't see the word Christmas. You go to stores, you don't see the word, you don't see the word. You go to stores, you don't see the word Christmas. You go to stores, you don't see the word, you don't see the word. You go to stores, you don't see the word Christmas. You go to stores, you don't see the word, you don't see the word. It says Happy Holidays all over. I say, where's Christmas? I say, where's Christmas? I say, where's Christmas?
We're all going to be saying Merry Christmas again. That I can tell you.
Fuck. Oh, goddamn. Hilarious. All right. I want to thank everybody for watching. Thank you very much. Pounding them out every week here. Slowly building a very stable base. Thanks for everybody in the chat. And, like, share, subscribe. Tell your friends about this stupid show. If anybody has any suggestions for a band anything they want to see on here, get a hold of me on social media. It's been flashing across the screen everywhere. Yeah, contact the show, and we'd love to make your dreams happen on the internet. Yeah, I want to thank Bob down at the Slaughterhouse. Go to slaughterhousestudioscalgary.com and give Bob a call and go book down at that place. We had a great time shooting down there. I'm really proud of how those videos turned out. And more to come with those. And next week, so my bro, Jimmy, who gave me this jacket, he got involved with some lights. So the lights are crazier next week. So I'm really happy to be at this point where we're putting out live exclusive content with local bands. So thanks to Vertigo, all those guys, Shaddy, Reed, Duncan, and their newest member, Bayan. That's the best way we think we can say it. I don't know. I'm probably going to see him. He's going to take a swing at me. He's like, it's beyond. Or something. But hey, I'm a jerk. Thanks for watching, everybody. Like I say, like, share, subscribe, tell everybody. Let's build this. Let's get it crazy. Good times. I'm going to play one more place boing, and then I'm going to roll some credits. Too much winning.
We're going to win, win, win. You're going to get so tired of winning. You're going to say,
Mr. President, please,
please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much.
And I'm going to say,
I don't give a damn. We're going to keep winning 100%. America first. We're going to make America great again. Make America great again. Make America great again. Make America great again.
I'm sorry. We're going to keep winning because we're going to make America great again.
Make America great again.
We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more. We're going to win so much.
Mr. President, please, we don't want to lose
Shit. I forgot to mention New Level Brewing. Go to newlevelbrewing.ca and use the online code LATE with Nate for 10% off on your order. Now to the credits. Thanks, everybody.